Steve here, RC. I'm with my Axial SCX24 deadbolt. I just got this hot racing part in here, and this gives says plus 4mm on each side. I think it says 5mm on each side width when you install these axles. It doesn't come with any instructions, but I found out that these screws and the little washers here they give you, they're used when you use their wheel weights, the brass ones. If you're not using them, you don't have to use those screws or these tiny washers. I'm going to install this right now. Let's get to it. Alright, let's install this axle kit. I'm going to take my wheels off first. I have extra wide hexes on here from the RGT 124 scale. I already got a little width out of mine wider. That was a wide track mod I did. You could see that video. So I don't know if I'm going to use this again. I could always put them back on. I have the stock ones here. They're a little thinner. So I'll see how that looks first. Here's the ones from the RGT 124th. You could see how much wider it is, so it gives you more width. So I could probably add these on also, but I hope it don't look kind of funky with the wide stance, you know what I mean? I really don't like it too wide, so I might put the stock ones back. You do have to thread lock your nuts on when you use these wider RGT ones though. Make sure you don't lose your little pins here. You could take off the body, but I think I'm just going to wing it with it still on. Now to put the front ones in, you're going to have to unscrew that screw there, that screw there, that one, and that one to take them apart. I got to get my hex driver. See, we'll take the top off first. Like that. Take the bottom one off. And then it should come loose. Pulls right out. Now that you have these bearings out, it's a good time to smear a little oil on them so they don't rust. I'm going to use some of this Corrosion X. You just put a little bit on your finger like this. Dab it around. And just coat it really quick. That way it'll help rust from not forming. Alright, here's the axle. Now let's see the hot racing axles now. I got that oil on my hands. They give you a sticker here. Let's compare the difference. I This is the hot racing one. You can see it's looks like it's 5 millimeters longer. So that's that. We want to install that. Now what I like to do is I use, this is my grease here. This is the RC light grease, the Zeop grease. You can get this at pprslots.com. I have a light and a heavy grease. This helps stop corrosion. So I like to just get a little dab of this, like that, on your fingers. And whoops, just give it a thin little coat. Just like that. That way if you ever go in water, it'll help stop the rust and it won't let the bearing stick onto the metal shaft. Alright, let's install the bearings now. Push them back in. Get your new axle. Put the bearing on. Slide it right in. There you go. Then you got to line up the dog bone. Make sure it's in right. And you just turn it till it locks. And there it is. Now you put your little screws back in. You don't want to tighten these real tight because you don't want to bind it. Just keep testing if there's a little play. Now I'm going to put the top one in. Boy, it's hard to see these little parts. You want to check, make sure it's free, not binding. Loosen it up if you have to a little bit. There you can feel it. You feel when it wiggles and there's a little play so it ain't binding. If it's stiff, you gotta loosen them 2 screws up. Alright, for the hell of it now, I got the one on. I'm gonna put the pin through. I'm going to put the stock hex on there and we'll see how much wider it looks. You could see mine with my modification, the wide track mod. It's a little bit wider. You see that? So if I want, I could also do my wide track mod and put the 1/24 scale RGT crawler hexes on like this, and then put this on again. And that makes it even wider. You can see it's pushed out more. Let me finish up this other front one and then I'll get back to you and we'll start on the rear and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, I want to show you the front. It's all done now. You put these little aluminum spacers, these ones here, you put them on the front and back before you put your pins in with your hexes. I think I might put my wide hexes in later on. These ones here, again from the RGT 1/24 scale crawler. And take these 2 hexes out. Now that you got your screws out, you have to pull the axle out. This one was in there hard, so I actually had to get a pliers and pull it out like that. Take your bearing off, put a little oil on it. Alright. Here's the new shaft. Let's compare it to the old one. You see how much larger it is? It's 5 millimeters. Alright, again, use grease. I'm using my grease, Zeop grease, because it helps stop corrosion. I coat the whole axle. Usually when I build RC cars, I coat everything with a thin coat of this to stop the corrosion. All metal parts, gears, axles, anything, ball bearings. My grease is good stuff for stopping corrosion. Alright, now what you want to do is get your ball bearing, put it on like that, and just slip this right down. Again, you gotta turn it till you hit the spot where it pops into the gear. I'm gonna tap this a little bit. And there it is. Now you want to get your little screws here. Put them back in. This is a real simple thing to do. Really easy. Anyone should be able to do it. And you want to get your little spacer here in the kit. Put that on. Oil up your pin. I got oil on my fingers, so that's good so it don't get rusty. Just like that. Put your hex on. You know what? Let me try the wide RGT hex to see if this works with this spacer here. You see there's a little space when you use the RGT. I don't think it would matter, but you could probably put a plastic washer behind it if I go that route. But for now I'm just gonna do it the way you would do it with a stock kit and just use the stock components. And you can see when you use the stock one, it has no play. Put your tire back on. Boy, these little parts. I don't even have big hands and they're hard to grab. I like using the Tamiya wrench, this T-wrench. You use the one side here. Fits perfect. Alright, I'm going to come back and I'll have all the wheels on here and the tires. There she is. You can see the wide stance now. Should be good now. You'll get less flip overs from the wide stance. I got some grease in my shocks, that's why it don't bounce much. Might as well show you guys all the mods on it. Look how low I put my unit there. I took everything out and I countersunk it in between the rails, and I used a little shoe glue on the top and bottom to hold it there. And I also put this Velcro strap glued on with a little piece of plastic rod glued on here, so when I put the lipo in there, it rests right on it. And I put this right on the lipo. It has Velcro on it, goes right in. You can see all these mods in my other videos, guys. But like I said, if you want to go ahead and do my wide track mod, you could get these RGT 1/24 scale crawler hexes and use them, but you'll have to put thread lock on your nuts here because there won't be a lot of thread sticking out, and Loctite them on, and you'll get even extra width. I may do that, but it looks pretty wide already. Let me know if you think I should use my widener mod on this to make it even wider, or you think it'll look kind of funky looking. Let me know in the comments below. There it is, guys, complete. Thanks for watching as always, and I appreciate all you guys, the support. The comments are awesome. Please hit that bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And Steve, Shen RC, we'll see you next time.